It's day 32, 19,424 verses to go. We start here in 2 Chronicles 8, where King Solomon goes to extraordinary lengths to not have to live in the same house as his wife. She can't have been that annoying. And then you gotta wonder why King Solomon doesn't consider starting up an epic curry house, considering all the stuff that the Queen of Sheba gives him. I'd do pretty much anything for an onion bhaji right now. Come on, Solomon, it's not like you can't afford it. 23 metric tons of gold every year for 40 years. He was absolutely flipping loaded. These days, of course, billionaires usually opt for private islands, but it looks like Solomon opted for apes and baboons. Scooby-Doo, I wanna be like you. Then we return to the moment that we saw in day 25 when Solomon's son Rehoboam divides the whole kingdom of Israel by claiming that his little finger is thicker than his father's waist. Then Rehoboam rebels against God, but we get the beginning of a recurring theme that keeps happening in 2 Chronicles. The kings of Judah do idiotic things, but then they humble themselves and they turn back to God, and he cuts them a little bit of slack. Have a look, that's exactly what happens with Rehoboam. Notice as well, there's no focus on the kings of Israel in 2 Chronicles because all of those kings are an absolute disaster. Asa's held up as a really good king, and he goes as far as to say that if people don't worship the God of Israel, they'll be killed. I think my wife sometimes considers that kind of a consequence when I don't tidy up the kitchen. To be honest, it all goes a little bit wrong with Asa, and then he dies because he gets a disease and he only goes to the doctors. He doesn't go to God for help. Yikes, I do that all the time. Jehoshaphat is the next king. He's an absolute dude, and he follows God wholeheartedly. He's about to be attacked by this humongous army, and he doesn't know what to do, so he gets everybody to pray, and he says to God, "We don't know what to do, but our eyes are upon you." So then they all sing, and God takes over and kills everybody. Turns out gospel choirs are really dangerous. Jehoram was the son of Jehoshaphat, but unfortunately he was really bad, and he turned away from God, and he gets a really bad bum disease, and all of his bowels fall out. Most grandmas are really nice, but we get one in chapter 22 who kills all of her grandsons and sets herself up as queen. Unfortunately for her, she misses one, and he gets smuggled away for 6 years, then he gets turned into the king and she gets stabbed to death. Maybe she should have opted for nursery rhymes. Tune in tomorrow for a weirdly hopeful calamity.